About the wild bison. Once upon a time, a large and powerful bison roamed through the wild forests of Moravia. He destroyed many fields and was very dangerous. He killed or seriously injured many people too. Therefore, the regent announced a reward for his capture. One of the people who had already encountered this bison several times was a poor shepherd called Václav. He was used to wild animals, however, so each time he met the bison, he quickly climbed up a tree and always escaped unharmed. Václav was much more concerned about a pack of wolves that had dismembered some of the sheep from his small flock. The regent's reward for catching the bison brought hunters to the region to try to kill this wild animal. They all failed though, and additionally, some of them paid with their lives for their courage. Once, one of the hunters brought with him a big and strong iron trap. He set it on the path between the bushes along which the animal was heading to the feeder. Hard and powerful iron was a challenge that the bison had never previously encountered, and therefore he calmly walked into the trap. The powerful jaws snapped shut, and in pain he jerked and tore at the chain with which the trap was attached to a tree. This was how Václav the shepherd found him a few days later, pitiful and weakened, almost at death's door. Václav took pity on the bison and rescued him from the fierce grip of the trap, cleaned his wound, and applied some medicinal herbs to it, in the same manner as he did when any of his sheep got hurt. He took care of the bison until he became stronger and was able to stand on his feet. He remembered his rage, however, so he preferred to keep him tied all the time to a strong tree trunk. But the healed animal stepped forward slowly and gently nudged him with his head in a friendly manner. The shepherd could see that the bison was attached to him, and finally he stopped being afraid of him. When wolves again approached the shepherd's flock and saw this huge and strong animal grazing amongst them, they never dared to attack their former prey again. The burly bison also helped his master in other ways, for example by hauling firewood or with ploughing. One day, the regent, together with his entourage, was riding by Václav's pastures when suddenly the terror of the Moravian forest stood in front of them. The brave knights abandoned the regent and rode off again in a cloud of dust. The regent, however, fell from his horse and froze helplessly in the face of certain death. At that moment, Václav came to the bison and assisted the astonished regent to stand up. Then he served sheep delicacies to him in his cottage and explained everything that had happened. Then finally, the bravest of the young men, the one who had gone in search of their lost ruler, appeared. The regent rewarded the shepherd richly, providing him with land, cattle, and vassals, and urged him to capitalize on his courage, experience, and good-heartedness in regard to the management of the regent's large estates. He also rewarded him with a coat of arms bearing a bison, as evidence that taming a beast and allowing it to associate with people is wiser and more humane than to seek to kill it out of fear, and that ultimately animals are grateful for a kind and fair relationship with people. Animals are still very helpful to us today, and not just that. For many people they are close and loyal friends, and therefore it is no wonder that scientists and researchers seek ways of enabling them to have healthy and fulfilling lives. Therefore, using the most up-to-date knowledge, nowadays effective and safe drugs are produced for animals that enable them to deal more effectively with a wide range of unpleasant or even potentially fatal diseases.